Hey, babe. It's Jamie. That's me here. Welcome back to my channel. Listen, let's go ahead and get into this quick chat. All right, y'all. Listen, I don't know if you guys got a chance to get into Kandi's sit down with Nivea. Y'all know Kandi does speak on it, and then she also has on that note. So I guess speak on it is more so an opportunity for like the housewives and stuff to come together and kind of like speak on some things or whatever like that. But with on that note, I guess it's more so around like music and stuff. So she decided to, and I think this was great for her, on that note, to kind of sit down with any and probably all of the ladies from Encore, sit down with them on her platform and kind of like get more background information about what's been up with them since they've been away from music. And we haven't really been hearing a lot of music from them. What's been going on with you guys? Because the show is not showing us that part. The show is really just showing us how you all are coming back together collaborative as a collective. Let me say that. All right. So how you guys are coming together as a collective and putting together this project. So she sat down with Kandi, and y'all, she gave a lot of disturbing information in this interview. And it really shook me, y'all. I definitely teared up. I really feel for Nivea and everything that she's going through. I jotted down a few things that stuck out to me that I'll be discussing with you guys. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to mention about this this interview. I can't think of it. I'm just glad that she was able to have a sit down. Oh, I know what I was going to say. With this interview, Nivea was definitely it seemed like she was all over the place. Nivea talks pretty fast sometimes. She adds stories together and stuff like that. So at times, Kandi had to kind of get control of the interview to try and slow her down. And I definitely had to, girl, hold on, rewind it. What she said, I missed some of that. But I will say that for me, after I watched all of it, I said, you know what? I feel like Nivea has kept a lot of things inside, and Nivea hasn't really talked about it. And if she has, just not on like this public platform where she's able to finally get all of her truth out. And I say that because I wasn't privy to a lot of things that was going on in her life. All I knew about Nivea was that she wasn't doing music anymore. I didn't know it had anything, like it was her fault to why she wasn't doing music or anything, or like I ain't gonna say her fault, but her decision to not do music. I thought that maybe they were going in the music industry was going in a different direction, and they just didn't want to play her stuff anymore. The only other thing that I knew about her was that she had a child by Lil Wayne, and she had children by Dream. That was it. Okay, I didn't know a whole lot, so she definitely clued us in on a few things. Like for starters, when she was 14, all of her sisters sing, and one of her sisters was familiar with someone and was like, "Hey, y'all trying to sing? Who's trying to sing? Y'all trying to sing?" And even though she was like the shyest one, she was open to singing. Her sister knew somebody, and so that's kind of where she got her start from. But to go back a little bit, she spoke on how her mom was on drugs, and not just her mom, but her dad. Her mom definitely at some point overcame her addiction, according to Nivea, but it didn't really seem like she did. But I believe she did. She overcame her addiction, and then they moved to Savannah around the time of when she was like 14. But her parents were on drugs really bad when she was like 10 years old, and she had to go and live with her grandma. And she was really hurt. She said they ended up being homeless, which was a result as to why she had to go live with her grandma. And that grandma meaning her dad's mom. So she said that, like, listen, I don't care about us being homeless. I just want to be with my parents. Like, I just want to be with y'all. But of course that couldn't happen. Okay. I think she said they ended up getting taken away from her parents, and they had to go live with the grandma. Like, that was something that happened. But then when her mom got her life together and stuff after 4 years, she was able to, her and her sisters were able to go back to her mom, live with her mom while they were down in Savannah, right? Okay. So she speaks on how she ended up getting into the music industry and singing. She says that her sister knew somebody. She knew a guy. So I'm believing the guy that her sister knew is also the guy that took her under his wing and taught her everything that she knew as far as music. Now, let me just go and put this out here real quick. The guy ended up being a pedophile. He helped her in her career, but he was also a pedophile. And I wonder how Nivea broke the news to her sisters to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, at that time, a lot of people thought that it was okay for like girls to date older guys, or that was the norm, or that was cool. And it's so crazy how this is another example of how everybody puts things off on the women and then lack the accountability on the men. This is a grown ass man dating a child. It shouldn't be a conversation of, oh, younger girls like older guys. No, okay, these old ass men like these young girls. And that was always something ever since I was a kid. I always thought that was disgusting, but that was me. Okay, I never understood it, and I think it bothers me so much that to this day I ain't gonna say I hate, I'm not fond of seeing old men with young women. You know what I'm saying? Because it's still, even though everybody's legal, it still gives me that energy, and it makes me feel like at a younger age you probably was a person that liked women like that. You know what I'm saying? That may not be true for everybody, but I'm just telling y'all what it makes me think of. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so when you was in your 20s, you was like a 15-year-old. You know what I'm saying? When you was in your 30s, you was like a 15, 16-year-old. For you to be in your 60s and you dating a 40-year-old, like that's the energy that it's giving, okay? But that's just me. That's why I just never liked it. Okay. Now this guy financed everything for her. He worked on her, I guess, teaching her how to dance or whatever, her music, her voice, everything. He worked on everything with her together. Okay. So she would travel from Savannah up to Georgia with this, up to Atlanta with this man by herself. And Kandi was like, girl, so your family was okay with this? She was like, no, my mama wasn't okay with it at all. You know, and I'm kind of like, well, if your mom wasn't okay with it, why would she still allow this to happen? Why would she allow you to go if she's not okay with it? You know, I guess she was at that stage where she was probably rebellious. Maybe her mom felt guilty for being on drugs and having to be away from them the way that she was for 4 years, as to why she allowed her daughter to go on and try to live a piece of her dreams. But if it don't sit right with you within your spirit, why? Like, hell nah, ain't no gonna be taking my child to nowhere. You ain't even gonna take my child up the street for 30 minutes if I ain't rocking with you like that. You know what I'm saying? If I don't feel comfortable within your spirit, okay? Within my spirit, with you having my child. Like, no. And if that's the case, if you just taking them up the street, then I'll just drop them off. What we doing? I'll bring them up there. What's up? You know, like, yeah. So that's that, y'all. I can go down a whole damn road because this is shit that I don't agree with. But during this time, this man was pretty much grooming her to be who he wanted her to be to him. All right. She said that, I talked about how her mom was on drugs and how they ended up being homeless. She lived with her dad's mom, and that they were able to see her dad more often than they saw her mom, right? Because it was his mother. But this is the confusing part for me. Okay. Nivea says that her dad was on drugs, but he was always present. He was very present in her life. And for me, I just feel like that's not possible for your dad to be on drugs, to be homeless, and still be possible. And still be present for you. I feel like that's not always present. I feel like maybe that's present sometimes, but I don't think that's 100% present. You know, I feel like being present would be being considerate of your children. You know what I'm saying? To want to do better for them. But, you know, that's just me. All right. Now, like I told you guys, that manager was definitely a pedophile. And I wonder how her sisters responded to that. You know, either how they responded to it at the time, even though they probably didn't know, because Nivea said she kept it from people for a long time, even though people kind of knew. I want to know the thoughts from her sisters. Okay, maybe that's getting too deep, but what was y'all thinking? And if y'all didn't think about it at that time, what are your thoughts about it now? To know that you knew somebody that you connected your sister with that ended up grooming your sister, and technically, to me, pimping your sister. You know what I'm saying? So I wish I knew what that dynamic was. Some part of me kind of hope that it's a little guilt, but then at the same time, maybe this young lady didn't know that that's how that guy was going to be. Maybe she didn't get that vibe. You know, he just said, hey, I'm looking for a girl group, whatever, If you know somebody, here's my card, you know, so maybe she didn't know all of that. All right. Now we know that she was driving back and forth with the guy, you know, from Atlanta to Savannah, you know, doing work, from her home to Atlanta doing work. Now she says that the man was like 10 to 15 years older than her, somewhere up in his like late 30s or whatever. And this young lady was like 16 years old or whatever. So he probably, I think he was probably more than 10, 15. I think she said actually 20 years older than her. Like, what the fuck going on with you, sir? What the is going on with you? Like, just fucking disgusting to me. Just disgusting to me that he was up here violating this young girl. And I hate that she would not drop his name. But I wish we knew this nigga name, because he still needs to pay for the crimes that he's done. Because that's just absolutely disgusting. But she didn't know any better. So she's thinking, oh, this is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, because back then, everybody's thinking that this is the okay thing to do. That's normal. Women date older men instead of calling a thing, which is these old ass men messing around with these young girls. Come on now. So to her, she's thinking it's a cool thing to do. Oh my God, and he running me around the roads and stuff like that. He get my music popping. He got me in the studio. He provide me and give me whatever it is I need. Whole time this nigga's a pedophile. And I just feel like, for me, if he did it to her, ain't no telling who else he has done this to. Okay. All right. So he was her manager. He groomed her up. Not only did he groom her up to do what he wanted her to do, he got inside her head psychologically, and he was up here stealing her money, taking her money and stuff. When she finally got her a record deal, I think it was like $1 million. He got her a deal to where he lied, because he was a good scammer and probably still out here scamming. He lied and said that she writes her music. She ain't never write no music. So he definitely made sure that she got a good deal out of everything. But to be honest, he really was looking out for himself more so than he was looking out for her. Okay, because of how much he was taking advantage of her and using her money and stuff. He got her a $500,000 deal on publishing and a $500,000 deal on recording. Okay, because he lied and said that she was a manager. And with that, he lied and said that she was a writer. So with that being said, he got her to get 2 homes. One of the homes was a house that she lived in. Another home they called the studio home, but technically that really was his house. Hello? And she said she would go over there and spend nights over there at times, from time to time. I cannot deal, honey. Even when she had a boyfriend, when she finally, I don't know how that works and how odd that is, but eventually, so she did go back home to live with her grandma, right? I think she stayed with him for like a year. Then she left there. She went to go back to live with her grandma. It was kind of tough because her grandmother, she said, was not affectionate towards her. She was not supportive towards the goals and things that she wanted to do. She did like graduate or whatever. She had a whole nother boyfriend. So I guess the time away from him being in her grandmother's house allowed her the opportunity to get to know other guys, and most likely guys her age. Okay. Well, no, I think she said that that boyfriend was like 21, whereas she was like 18 or 17 or something like that. So he didn't like that. He got inside her head to like manipulate her. So she ended up breaking up with that guy. But after time, she started seeing how he got her to break up with him, that she started looking at him differently, and she didn't want anything to do with him. So it was more so about him just managing her. She also opened up and told us about how she was raped by one of his friends. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Outside on a hood in front of a gas station. Are you fucking kidding me? And then to this day, she believes, because the dude got her drunk or whatever. She said to this day, she believes that he may have had something to do with it. This is the manager dude. She believes he had something to do with it, with the friend doing that to her. And then she also says that after she told him about that incident, he has never, according to him telling her, he has never talked to that dude ever again, right? This is what the manager told her. And I'm like, you're probably right. He probably did have something to do with it. And the reason why he doesn't talk to him again is because he doesn't want you to know that he was in on what happened to you. Okay, this man hasn't been moving in your best interest, to be honest, the entire time that you've known him. So what would make you think he would move in your best interest after his friend violated you? The only thing I could think, and it's still not even about you, it's about him, is the fact that he looked at you as his territory, and his friend wanted a piece of that territory, and he violated. So it was never really about you. So that's that on that. She said that she got rid of his R's back in 2003, and she hasn't spoke to him ever since. Now, she spoke on how her and Wayne got together. She got with Wayne because he was working on an album or whatever. He reached out to her label and was like, look, I'm working on an album. I'm trying to get her on the song. Like, we need to get in contact with her, whatever. So they brought her to the studio. When they got in the studio, he was like, listen, I lied. I ain't trying to do no work. And then like that girl, like, I'm trying to get to know you. Like, I want your number. That's why, I got you here. We can still do the music if you want to. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get to know you on that level, right? So when she got with Wayne, of course, the manager hated it. Of course, when you have somebody that's narcissistic and they operate and they're controlling and they operate in the fashion of your manager, the manager don't want you to have no friends, period. They don't really want you to have no friends. Like, I ain't even want to say the manager, but the man, the individual, because some women do this too. They don't want you to be able to communicate with nobody. They don't want nobody else that can come in and alter your train of thought and get to see their ass for who they really are. Okay, they like to keep you pigeonholed right where you are so they can continue to manipulate you, control you, and get you to move how they want you to move. You know, so that was that. She talked about how she ended up getting back with Wayne. So okay, they connected, they talked for a minute or whatever like that, right? When she got back to the house, they are like something that happened with her and the manager where they got into like this big argument or whatever because she didn't want to do the music anymore. And I think she even Wayne even said that he didn't want her to do music anymore. But I'm getting the stories mixed up because I'm thinking that her wanting to do music was after she moved in with Wayne. So she got into an argument with the manager, right? She said the manager never really hit her. He's never done it before, but he was dragging her throughout the house. So she had bruises and stuff. And I'm kind of like, would you even remember for sure if he hit you in your face or something like that? Would you? I mean, he probably did. Like, I mean, you know, but I mean, she was telling the truth about everything else. So maybe she's right. So she said he was dragging her throughout the house. And she finally got out the house. She ran to a McDonald's and she called Wayne or whatever. And Wayne was like, leave him right now. I got you. Whatever. She called the police. They let her in to get her stuff. And when she was trying to leave, he told me like everything in this house is ours. And she's like, ours? Everything in this house ain't ours, you know. And she said, and if that's the case, then you can have everything. I'm out. Goes to live with Wayne down in Louisiana. Everything is going well until Wayne, okay, about to marry Toya, or done marry Toya, about to move Toya in. Let me tell y'all, Wayne done had some has Wayne had issues with his mama or something, child? Because Wayne can't be single to save his damn life. Okay, he always in and out the loop with somebody, honey. Okay, I feel like Wayne out here worse than these females out here, but y'all don't never call a thing a thing. Y'all just be calling females sluts and hoes and whores and all this other stuff, but y'all don't call these men what they are, girl. I don't give a damn if Wayne is your fave and he'll go. Okay, he's trash in the men's department. Hear what I say. Him, Future, and anybody else. And Nick Cannon, go scoot on over there too. You in dressing room B. Hear me. Okay. So yeah, so he it's funny because Nivea was living in the house. So he kind of told her he wanted to get a bigger house or something. He basically he concocted a plan to get Nivea out the house, child. And move Toya into the home. I guess her and baby Reginae. Now what we see is she had to relocate, come back to Atlanta, live with her sister, and then she ended up getting a home, and Wayne paid for that home. Okay, so he definitely took care of her. But when she got back to ATL, that's when she ended up meeting the dream. I think the first night they went out, they may have stayed the night together or something, and then I know for sure a month later they ended up getting married. She went overseas to Japan to do something, came back, he was proposing. She was happy. They were moving very, very fast. Okay. Now, at some point, okay, when she thought everything was going great between her and her man, I think she ended up she ended up catching him like kissing somebody else. And so she ended up having to get like, he wanted a divorce. And she was really heartbroken. At this point, they had like 3 kids together, I believe. So she was like torn to the ground. She was heartbroken about everything. So much so that she was telling him she didn't want nothing from him. All she wanted was like a purple couch. I mean, a purple chair and something else. I think it was something else that was like a I don't know, some other item. It was something else that she wanted. That's all. That's it. She didn't want nothing else from him. Like, just give me those 2 things and I'm out your way. And I think that was like, of course she was disappointed. She was hurt. She was disgusted. She didn't want anything from him. But I don't think she really had a gauge on how hard this was going to be for her with these kids. Like, no, it ain't even about you at this point. It's about these kids. So he should have definitely did what he needed to do as far as those kids. So he got off the hook without like child support, alimony, none of that. But the good thing is that after the divorce, she ended up reconnecting with Wayne. And, you know, during the time that they had separated in the beginning, she ended up having a miscarriage. I believe that was right before Toya got moved into the house. She ended up having a miscarriage. So once she got divorced from the dream, they came back around and got back together. And he was like, listen, I want you to give me that child that you said you was going to give me. And she ended up getting pregnant. And then she finds out that Lauren London was also pregnant at the same time as her. But even though like she was down and out and she had to move back to Atlanta, she had no money and stuff. One thing the Dream and Wayne did was make sure her bills were taken care of. That's one thing. So that was a blessing. Okay. That was definitely a blessing for them to be able to take care of that. But she has no issues with Lauren London. You know, like they have a really great relationship. And shout out to the baby mamas, because all of the baby mamas, from my understanding, have a really good relationship. All of the kids appear to be close. So that's one thing. Okay, at least he picked them well. I don't think that's gonna happen for Nick Cannon, honey. I don't think that's gonna happen for you, boo. But we also learned that at a later point she ended up taking drugs. She said that her dream drug was like cocaine or something like that. It never turned into crack. But she started taking cocaine, and she got really emotional about that because she was on it for such a long time. And she really started to feel defeated. I guess her kids weren't listening to her and obeying her in that fashion. She just was going through a lot. Depression had set in. So she really wanted to like end life, but not end life all at the same time. But she was able to overcome it. I think also what probably contributed to that depression is knowing that her parents also went down the same road, whether it was cocaine, crack, whatever. Her parents also went down the same damn road. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure she was fighting so hard to never be like them or never go down that road, only to end up going down a similar path, you know. But she was able to overcome it. She was crying and everything. Y'all, Nivea has been through a fucking lot. She has been through a lot, y'all. And I really hope that she's able to get to a place where her life is just on the up and up from here on out. You know, she still got some good vocal cords, honey. Go on in there and make you a few songs, okay, and put them out. She's still been able to live and make money, because now that man done put her name on so much shit, the manager, that her name wasn't on, okay, I'm gonna say this. He put her name on so much stuff that she did not necessarily have access to. Like, she didn't write this stuff, she didn't produce this stuff, but he put her name in certain places. And it really did secure her future in a sense, because now that streaming has come into play, she's getting money off that, okay? Things on YouTube, she's getting that taken care of. Like, that's in her name. Like, she's still getting checks. The checks are still coming in, so she's able to stay afloat, which is a great thing. But hopefully she can get back on track with doing some music. And shout out to Kandi, because Kandi says that if she needs help, let her know. So if you haven't written before, maybe Kandi can show you some ropes and get you into the writing area of music or something. Also, I wouldn't mind seeing Nivea be a part of whenever Escape do a tour, and if y'all need an opening act or whatever, you know what I'm saying? If y'all want her, not really like an opening act, but if y'all want her to be a part of it, kind of like the Millennium Tour that Omarion, Bow Wow, and others are doing. If Escape decides to do something, I would love to see Nivea be a part of that. You know, I just want to be able to see her life on the up and up, you know, because this lady has definitely been through a lot. She said she gonna write a book. I'm like, girl, write it. Write a book, you know, give us a movie or a series or something. You don't have to tell us that it's actually about your life. You don't have to do like a lifetime story, you know what I'm saying? But you could do something, okay? And we'll be definitely here to see it, okay? So that's that, y'all. You know, this was a really long, you know, recap or whatnot, very talkative, but I hope that you guys enjoyed it all the same. If you have not seen Kandi sit down over there with Nivea, y'all go over there and check that out. It's really good. I want you guys to leave your thoughts and comments down below regarding the sit down Kandi had with Nivea. And that's all I got. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie, that's me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.